Are we ready? Somewhat, sort of, maybe? All right, I gotta look. It's gonna fuck me up all the time. Okay, and everyone, welcome to Transpicuous Views. It is the UnFuckers Gathering edition. It is May 21st. The insanity continues on a daily. Actually, the insanity continues on a minute-to-minute basis around here at the moment. It's been an interesting 48 hours on pretty much all levels. Yeah. So we have the whole gang here. Let's see. We got Claire's hiding over there in the corner. You can't see her. She's on purpose, by the way. Dervish. Me. Peter. Joy. Then we got Anne. And the wonderful Anne Callahan, who we all know her face anyways. Mercy, Linda, Edward, who's over in the corner. There's Mary in the corner. Gail, she's my arch nemesis, by the way. She keeps making fun of my shoes. Not fair. Jenny and Curtis.
Good evening.
We're all here, and we've all had a rather fun and insane time so far. So, I dropped a couple of bombs in the UnFuckers room. We talked about it on Wednesday. We talked about it on the UnFuckers show. And the changing of World War I, it would seem, new Mandela effects floating around, like the fact that apparently there have been submarines in this reality since the 1800s. Certainly didn't happen in my reality. There's been a couple of new ones that are kind of interesting. Apparently that there were several battalions of U.S. troops during World War I and right up until the 30s that had swastikas on their uniforms. Airplanes, United States, Air Force airplanes with big swastikas on the side. Yes, I know it's outrageous and I don't believe it either. So, we've heard there's a lot of shifting. There's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of strange shifts going on energetically, especially over the last month. And then this little piece kind of coming to the surface where was it 6 and 8 months ago, we talked about World War II. And now all of a sudden World War I seems to be coming right to the fore in that 1917 100th year anniversary. Oh, what are they planning? What are they doing? So we've had some interesting energetic moments with everyone all gathered together here. So yes, stop smirking, Curtis, I saw that. Some rather interesting moments. But before we get into that, I want to throw open the floor. Does anyone want to talk about any of what's been going on and coming to Malta and Gozo and all the insanity that has ensued? Yeah, talk about the cups. Okay, I gotta start. Yeah, we gotta talk about the cups. Because seriously, okay. So just to set the flavor of the last 48 hours for you. Jenny and her son Jacob are staying in an apartment with Linda and Joy. Jenny and Jacob arrived first, and Jenny sends me a message jokingly on Facebook going, "There are no cups in this apartment." So I'm talking about, you need coffee. She's like, no, that would be lovely, but there's no cups. I was like, well, you'll have to drink it Gozotin style and a glass. And she's like, yeah, that would be nice, but there's no glasses either. So we go through this whole thing. I'm like, have you searched everywhere? We have, Jacob have searched the entire flat. There are no cups. There are no glasses to be found in any cupboard, drawer, hidden in dimensional space anywhere. So Linda shows up last night. You guys get back down to your flat. It's like, midnight or so. This morning they get up and they open the door, cupboard door right in the kitchen in front of them, and there's a whole cupboard full of cups and glasses. Shit you not, we cannot make this shit up. An entire cupboard full of cups and glasses. Now, I'm telling this whole story to Nick as an aside during our day today. And he's like, well, maybe the landlords, when you guys were out for dinner, the landlords went, oh my God, we forgot to give them cups and glasses. And they ran in and put the cups there. I was like, that would be great, except that at midnight last night, there were no cups and glasses. And at 7 o'clock this morning, there was cups and glasses. So we're going to go out on a limb and see if the landlords did not sneak in the middle of the night and put the cups and glasses there and say, it's the glass fairy. It was the glass fairy. It was the glass fairy. Or fairy. Or the what fairy? It was the Linda fairy who showed up and helped us just create some new reality. There was a new timeline created there. Like, they are bright, striped, different colors. They are so in your face. Like you couldn't possibly miss the sink where you would look exactly where you would look for that. 2 cupboards above the sink. It was empty. It was completely empty. There were 9 cups. And about many glasses. There you go. The cupboard is bare. It went to, we can now host a party. So parties at their place tomorrow night. Everyone's available in the wine. Bring a bottle. Bring a large bottles of wine. You even have to do that wine. So that just gives you the little bit of an insight as to just the kind of craziness we've been having over here. Anyone else want to throw open the floor? I want Peter to talk about some specific color he has on his mind these days. We'll talk about that color in a couple of minutes.
Green.
Green? Green is pink.
You didn't. No, it's green. It's green. Pink is okay, but we have to go with the green first. The green is the way to the pink. And that has also to do with the tunnels. I had the almost honor to work with you, my dear friend Curtis. And that's unbelievable working with Curtis, or Curtis working with me, because I was just trying to follow what Curtis was coming up with. Which goes, it's good we are in no time, because that's about the speed of it. What we tried first of all was to find a reason why Malta is so bloody special. Why through the ages Malta has been a focal point of any nation or any tribe or whatever you want to call it. There had to be something here that's almost unique, anyway, in this part of the world. Well, it covers it, I think.
Yeah, and it's not, we discussed this, ad nauseum, because the excuse has always been through history. It's like, well, Malta plays such a strategic importance. But, I mean, it literally is a rock in the middle of the sea. It's not like it guards the entry to, I don't know, Shangri-La or something. It certainly doesn't. So, the excuse that Malta has this importance for strategic reasons, it just doesn't wash. It just doesn't wash. There is something else. And as we discussed last night, you had taken into consideration an island this tiny, or a set of islands this tiny, with a grand total of 450,000 people in the entire country. And there's 365 Catholic churches. 365, as in just like the calendar, which is, again, coincidence? I think not. And it draws people. We said, okay, the Knights of Malta. Why do the Knights of Malta continuously come up? It's once they enter into your field of vision, so to speak, all of a sudden you see them everywhere. They're involved in everything. They keep coming up in news stories, bits of research you do. It's like the Knights of Malta. And of course, the rumors have always been the fact that the Knights of Malta are actually the Knights Templar.
Yeah.
And that when the Templars went underground, they formed the Knights of Malta to replace it. why did they leave Jerusalem? Why did they leave and come to this little tiny rock in the middle of the Mediterranean? Because they think it goes back much further than that. The Baker people and all that lot. The ones that actually built the temple. Well, this is the whole thing. So you have what was, up until, Christine, how do you say it? The temple in Turkey. How do you say the name of it?
Göbekli Tepe.
Göbekli Tepe, right? Up until that was discovered, the Hypogeum and Gigantea, which we're going to see tomorrow, were considered the world's oldest temples. Oldest temples. The Hypogeum is considered to be about 1,500 years older than Cheops pyramid. So now you look at the ancient peoples. Why were they building not one temple, not two temples, not even 4, 5, or 6 temples? There are temples all over the 2 islands. Above ground, underground, and they're everywhere. Now there's a guy who did some research quite a while ago that I ran across his work back in 2013. And his thing was that Malta is a major nexus for a pile of ley lines.
Yeah.
And that the placement of the churches was done specifically to control the ley line energy where the intersections were happening, where there were actual major nodes. And that's why they chose those places to put Catholic churches on each one. The interesting thing about the Catholic churches is they ring the bells here for the time. So the bells ring 4 times an hour in every single village to tell the time. So 4 times an hour for basically, I mean, some of them do stop at midnight and don't start again until about 4 o'clock in the morning, but most of them go for 24 hours a day. And the bells are all untuned. They're all not tuned. They're all off tune. And anyone who's a musician with perfect pitch, you come here, it's like nails on a chalkboard when the bells start ringing, because you can hear that they're out of tune. Why? Why are they out of tune or out of frequency? Is it to cancel out the frequencies that are coming up from
Might have found an answer.
Well, yeah, so I want you guys to talk about that, because that was really, really interesting.
Well, today we went to just Central Square where we are staying. There's a beautiful church there with some huge ley lines. And well, we checked out the ley lines. Coming in was not good, going out was not good, coming from the sides, and they are in the form of the Ezekiel wheel, I think you call it.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
both vertical and horizontal. So, and then we started studying the blockage on the blockage energies on that line. And Claire and Curtis were filling in a lot of gaps and getting ideas and checking on thoughts. And what we came up with, more or less, is that basically you can't influence a ley line when you're in it. But you can influence it if you're just on the outside of it. As a ley line does not carry the information inside, it carries the information outside, around it. Now, if you look where those bells are, they're right on the point on the outside of the ley lines. And that sound is so distorted that you get a very distorted energy around those ley lines with probably some information added to it that we haven't found out yet about, but you bet there is some extra information on it. Because one of the things that we found out when we came here is there is a blanket over Malta Gozo, and a blanket that covers that area from energies coming in. And I could think, but Let's leave it at that. There's a blanket.
Top pink, top pink.
I've been doing that so much. And that's to keep the energy or the system that's going on here going. And then you ask, why is it so important to keep that system going here? And what is that system? I did a 0 point measurement before coming here, and I doused on Tula's green tunnel to see if there was any green tunnel energy here, and there was a bit around a certain person here in muscle form, and nothing else. Then we came here and I checked, I forgot when, because time is
Literally irrelevant.
There is not a time.
No, it must have been yesterday. The island was covered in green. That was yesterday. Totally covered in green. Tula's green. Okay, fine. So we have huge tunnels here, which we brought. So personally, I think it's attached to each of us and being in a big group and so on and so on.
One more thing, we're going to stop in. If you're confused about the pink and the green tunnels, you need to go watch, is it Deconstructing the Construct or was it Collective Imagination? Or both?
Both.
For the last 2 weeks. On lisamharrison.com. The recordings will be there. So there's a whole piece of conversation I know some people are missing, but there you go. If you need to catch up on that, what that all is, you're going to have to go to lisamharrison.com and see the recordings there.
Yeah, sorry.
Hit it, sorry.
Okay. So we went into what might have, what's the technology here? Is there a technology, and what kind of technology is there? And then Curtis came up with something he saw, and which has been confirmed by a certain lady here. You don't mind if I do this?
Giannica.
I didn't think you. I just pointed at you.
You can do that too.
Okay, fine. That looks like a technology that's really very interesting, and it involves. You want me to get into that? It's a bloody technical.
Well, let's back up for a second. I want to get Curtis. That's right. Put out your shit on it. Here you go. So I'm going to put Curtis on the hot spot now. So I want you to talk about what you saw, because you and I we tried to have the conversation about 4 times and it just kept getting distracted. So what it was that you saw, that was today, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I felt a pull on the ground and I went into my heart space to try and connect with this energy as it felt. And then I saw a ball, like a crystallized ball. It was gold, a fiery orange gold. And I saw energy going into it, going around, integrating and merging together, and then projecting outwards with a hot spot at the end of the tunnel. We then found out the projection, the tunnel was green. At the end of the hot spot was the green energy, and the ball, like the sphere itself, but the cloaking, the blanket, that was just underneath it, and we were on the last layer, which is where Malta, the Australian, at the end, we were breaking through that, and we penetrated 2 points into the sphere.
Very cool.
So obviously what's going in is a balance, so you've got, for instance, a positive and negative. You've got a balance going in, and they're integrating, and then you get a projection that goes up and projects out. And I saw, well, we came to the conclusion that the projection point, the tunnel, is going through the centre of the cathedral in Central Square.
So we've had lots of interesting conversations here. As you can imagine, when you get a group like this together, the conversations have been rather interesting continuously. And what I love synchronicity. So when people start a conversation, they're like, they see something. So one of the things that Curtis saw was a line drawn between America, North America, the UK, and Australia. And he's telling me all of what he'd seen. I said, okay, well, this is really interesting. And because I've got all the historical kind of pieces that go with it, I let Curtis or Peter or anyone tell me what it is they've seen. And then I'll be like, okay, so let me give you a little piece of this. So in the 50s and 60s, the Maltese government decided they had a population, too much population. They couldn't support it. And they paid people to leave the country. And there was a massive outflow of Maltese and Gozotans in the 60s and right up until the early 70s. And they all went to New York, Toronto, London, and Sydney. Now, since then, we've seen there's been little times where there's been influx. So like in the early 90s, there was a lot of people who left in the 60s. They went to Canada, the States, the UK, Australia. They made their money. Then they've retired and they've come back. What we're seeing right now, though, and I mean literally right now in the last few months, personally, people I know of who were Maltese descent, but born in Toronto, born in New York, etc., who've always sworn they would never come live in Gozo or never come back to live in Malta. They'll come here on vacation because they love it and it's home, etc., but they're never going to live here because, you know, all of a sudden they're all coming back. They're all coming back. And people who I know who have sworn up and down their entire lives that they would never move to Gozo have all of a sudden sold off everything they have in Canada or the US and are now moving back to make a new life in Gozo. So when he brought up those places that he had seen, immediately it was like, oh. So we're talking about energy that goes out, was sent out, and now we have this big influx of energy. It's all coming back to this point. I thought that was really, really interesting. Now, I will talk about the sphere thing as well, since someone keeps pointing at me. You guys have been following along on my ridiculous journey for the last God knows how long. In the winter of 2013, 2014, I spent not in Gozo, but in Malta, on the main island. And I was staying at a friend's guest house that was not open for business, so we just had the run of the whole guest house. And Malta is an interesting place in the fact that there is a lot of strange energies here, a lot of ghosts, a lot of entities, as this crew has found out. Sorry, I guess I should have warned you all about all that stuff. I thought I had, maybe not.
Well, definitely not.
I wanted to be a surprise for you. I wanted to see how you react. When you run into these things. So, yeah, it's an interesting place to live, let me tell you. So back in maybe of January 2014, we had some incidents start happening around the guest house where my kids were seeing ghosts. There was a lot of strange energy going on, and I decided, okay, this has got to. No, it was in December of 2013. I was like, okay, I've got to do something. And you kind of, that parental thing, like it's like, okay, time to pull out the mom and protective. And so I went in to meditate and I lay down. I was like, okay, I need help. I can't do this by myself. I really, really need help. And I kind of threw that open there. And the very first thing that I found, energetically wise, was a giant crystal. It was buried. It was deep. I know it was not necessarily buried, but it was deep within the heart of Malta. And it was a massive golden crystal. And the feeling from it was not positive. It was not negative. It was a completely neutral. You could draw upon it. You could commune with it, even if you will. But there was no positive. There was no negative. It was all just right there, neutral.
May I say balanced?
Balanced.
Because
exactly.
we can use that word later on.
Yeah.
Yes. So very, very balanced. And it was really, really interesting because I literally, it was like I found this crystal and you could feel the energy from it. And I was like, okay, I need your help. And I pulled up kind of like shields up and I literally shielded the entire 5-story building that we were in. And it was so easy. It was like literally when you just kind of go, and you can feel the shields just go right over the whole building. Over the rest of the time we were here, which was about another 3 months, I would feel the presence of this crystal quite often. And like I said, there was a consciousness to it. It wasn't mechanical. It wasn't just a thing. There was very much a consciousness that was part of it. Since then, I've actually touched a few more crystals much like this. One of them was under CERN. And it was a huge thing that we did back in November of 2013 that had to do with CERN as well, but the same kind of a crystal. But that one was really coerced. It was very, very coerced, and it was being kept heavily shielded and being given only the controller's side of the story, the controller's aspect of information. And there's a group of us who went in back in early November 2013 when we found it. And we talked to it, and we said, you don't have all the story. You're only getting part of the information, and we flooded it with everything. Like, here, take it. This is the rest of it. And the feeling that I got immediately from it was a very conscious thought of, oh, this changes everything. Because before, it only had part of the pieces, part of the story. So these crystals seem to come up, and I know a few other people have done work on ones that were under the mountains somewhere in Tibet, and also one of the mountains down in Morocco as well. And that was one of the reasons why we talked about the fact that we were drawn down to the desert, because we had a feeling there was one also down in that area. So we're off on a little side tangent. Sorry, I'm just trying to fill in some of the details. So yes, synchronicities where these conversations come up, but I want to talk about the balance thing, because that is something that to me is one of the most important pieces that people need to be aware of right now.
Yeah, but first we have to start on with what Claire found out.
Okay.
You want to tell it?
Claire.
Oh, your.
Yeah, which bits?
Oh yeah, wait. About the boy, the guy, mother, father, and.
Oh my goodness. Let me collect my thoughts. on that.
You want me to tell it?
I will Peter and tell it, and you fill in the details.
Yeah, if I start going.
Yes, I'll tune back in. Yeah.
Oh, that's good, but we will start. So Claire was doing her dowsing on a question we have. That's there should be living in this construct, which has been hijacked by we don't really know who, but it must have been also an inside job. So there must be a human around that started it somewhere, somehow. Through Bobby Charlton and his mother and whatever, Claire found somebody. A man, furious, more than furious. And you were able to calm him down a bit, and even more, and even more. I don't know if he's still calm. We haven't been talking about that. But he was not only furious on us, but also on his father, who was blaming him for not doing things in the right way. Well, that doesn't sound like what the original world should look like. You don't blame anybody. Blame didn't exist, probably. So why is that? Where does the blame come from? And he was also blaming his mother for him being so lazy. That's the word that came up. Now, why blame the mother? What came up was that the father had decided or had contact with a group of whatever you want to call it, outside of the construct, and he mated with a woman, the mother of this person. She was out of the construct, and what she did not have, because we will And that has to do with the balance. It's unbalanced, so something, either you add something or you subtract something. And it's easier to subtract than to add. So what was left out? That was empathy. The mother had no empathy. This guy had just a bit. So he stood out enormously in a world like that. And from then on, we don't know if this is really the central guy, but from then on, it started with a lack of empathy. And somebody clever enough to know about, and especially with this external family, who were very good. Oh yeah, we forgot to tell it. We were very good in technology, how to create a, let's say, a virus, and he could be the big boss. So that started it a bit. Okay, so here we've got the imbalance caused by a lack of empathy. Now, if you go back to the crystal, neutral or imbalance, or your, well, whatever, consciousness very much in balance, and that's because you saw two energies coming into it. Let's say a plus and a minus. Duality, a plus and a minus. What comes out is perfect. As long as the plus is plus and the minus is minus, no problem. Now, when you take out something out of that plus or out of that minus,
Imbalance.
It becomes imbalanced.
to speak in your kind of words, shit in, shit out.
Yeah.
So if this is the motor, that's the way that they probably have been using it to put that shit out there. So our next step will be what we can do about balancing.
Give it an enema. Says the nurse. Give it an enema. Coffee enema. Coffee enema. Not mine. It's someone else's cup. Usually.
So we'll see. But and we just got a very special stone from you that almost knocked me over. So we'll see.
Well, you know, there's got to be a reason why there's calcite crystals washing up on the beach in front of my house and nowhere else on the island. And they're very orange. They're very orange, yellow, and gold, and amber, and they're warm. Yes. And apparently one of them tried to like knock Peter right off his feet, but that's okay. He picked another one. He picked a different crystal.
Now these are the small stories, huh?
Yeah, these are the small stories. These are just like, and I mean, we've missed a shitload of them. I mean, there's
Dragons.
dragons. We talked about dragons. Well, Curtis did. I don't even know how it started. Last night before we all went out for dinner. I think you guys have seen the pictures on the UnFuckers group. Yes, Tom, we're taking more photos. I promise. And Curtis pulled out some tarot cards and he started laying down some cards. And it was the same thing. When I looked at the 4 cards that he pulled, I was just like, oh, wow. I mean, I haven't used tarot cards in years and years. And my tarot cards that I've carried with me everywhere for like 35 years have disappeared. Some to wear in the, I've apparently lost a lot of shit in the last 6 months. The stuff is just randomly vanishing everywhere. And some of the cards that he pulled up, again, really, really interesting. You don't have a classical tarot deck. You've got one that's got really beautiful, beautiful imagery and the little things. So one of the cards that comes up is, I don't know what it is with the tarot, the one with the pregnant woman giving birth. What is this? What is that? The tarot card. It's the Empress. It's the Empress. It would be the Empress card. And there's this picture of a woman, and she's sitting, and she's got a sheath of wheat in one hand, and she's got a horn of plenty, full, overflowing with fruit and vegetable in the other, and she's hugely pregnant. And she's kind of sitting, lounging, kind of on the bank of a river, with one toe just sticking in the river. And we discussed the card and what we saw in it. And at the very bottom of the card, the very lower corner, tiny, there was a little, I'm not even sure what it was supposed to be because it didn't match anything in the card. It was just like a little statue, a little person. Well, there was something that was supposed to represent a head, but it was kind of like the arms were like this, so basically you couldn't see a face. You could only kind of see just the forehead of the statue. And it was green, and it was this big, voluptuous, the big, huge breasts, and the pendulous breasts, and the large, round stomach. And I said to Curtis, oh my God, that's the Maltese goddess. And that's all the temples here. They find these goddess statues, the Neolithic goddess statue, and she never has a face. But she's huge, pendulous, and big, and voluptuously round. And I meant to pull up a picture, and I completely forgot because I was going to show one. So we'll have to take a picture of that card, and then I'll put up a picture of I'll pull up one of the Maltese goddess pictures. But again, one of those things like, why was it even on the card? It didn't have anything to do, seemingly to do with the entire picture on the card. And yet here in this little corner is this Maltese goddess statue on the Empress card is the picture of the woman giving birth. Really, really.
Did you ever notice that?
Never. I've had that card a few times as well.
Really?
And as he said, he's never noticed that.
And it was you that noticed it?
And I noticed it.
Was it there before?
Well, that's the question.
Yes.
Was it there before?
I look quite deep
Maybe
into
you can bring
cards in
them
the
up, why
background.
not?
I do the readings. I go off the reader, they read the books.
Yeah.
I've always looked at some details about the card and never seen it before.
And you've never seen it before, so there you go. Yeah. Did I mention it's been an interesting 48 hours? Yeah, so anyone
So
else?
many things though have happened, haven't they? Because we've all been going off into little groups. So a lot of the things that we've missed, a lot of things that have been going on with other groups of breaking it down and just bringing it all together.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a melding of minds here for all of us too, because I've had conversations with Curtis, and I've had conversations with Peter, conversations with Gail, and conversations with Claire, but then at the same time those conversations are going, other people having conversations over here, and I don't even think any of us have actually gotten all the pieces all pulled together yet. It's been kind of crazy. So anyone else want to add anything before?
I'll say one thing. Be
Yeah,
careful what you set as your intention. I set as my intention that I was going to have a great healing while I was here. So I fell flat on my face, smacked and split my lip. Well, bruised my lip. I hit my knees that are horrible, and I'm completely fine now. That wasn't my goal.
Be careful what you wish for.
It's everything is coming in your face here. We mentioned some of the different things we've done, as you'll just toss something out one day, and the next morning you wake up with the cups in your cupboard. One time I brought all the stuff over, and that's it. That was the entire stuff. Walk in the next morning, they're opening it up, and they're like, Linda, did you bring this? And I said, no, I wasn't the one that needed the cups.
Jenny needed the cups.
Jenny
She
needed
brought
the cups. But I'm saying it's amazing, and to meet these people and just to touch somebody's hand, and then you just get energy blown away through you and up. And before we came in here, some of us all held hands together, and I saw a huge spider web of the creation that this whole thing is. That was only 5 or 6 of us. Can you imagine when we get to the temple and we all do something like that?
We'll have to wait and see how that
See us how that works with Curtis. He was to say he was crucial.
Maybe what we figured out towards the end.
What?
Come
on, John.
Okay, I'll
Spit
spit
it
it
out,
out. Okay,
dude.
so what we figured out towards the end, what we need to do here, I think we have to get it out.
That's been kind of the whole thing. As soon as everyone kind of got here, little groups are coming, and everyone's kind of come in little pockets. And sometimes it's only been like 4 hours between each group arriving. And it seems like the instant thing is like, okay, why the fuck are we all here? Besides the fact that Danny's making dinner. Why and coffee. And coffee. Besides that, why? why are we all here? Why are we all here
now?
Right now.
And what do we all have to go through to get here?
And
We
what-
had to move mountains to make approvals
Well,
to get new time off for me.
Yeah.
Some people had to find the money, find the right kind of visas.
Yep.
happens.
Everyone's here. Why? Why are we all here? What are we supposed to do? Because that's the other thing, is everyone's come here knowing there's definitely a reason why we're all here, and there's definitely something that we're all supposed to do.
I think we will know the last day.
And I think, well, to find the last day, we've got people coming and going continuously for the next week.
I hope it's on my last day here.
When is that? So we'll be prepared.
So everyone's looking for tomorrow afternoon. I have a friend of mine who's Maltese. He's considered to be probably one of the most knowledgeable people, in my opinion, about all the Maltese temples. And he is taking us on a tour of Gigantia Temple, which is literally 3 blocks away from the farmhouse where half this crew are staying. Which is a joke. Like, we'll just be able to walk out and just walk down the hill and go to it. And Gigantia is one of the most ancient temples of all the Maltese temples. It is one of the absolute oldest. And I used to, and now of course it's all cordoned off and it's all in cave. You've got to pay a ticket to go in. When I lived here 20 years ago, it was just an open field. And you could come and go as you please. And I used to go and sit there and read a book or go and draw or meditate, whatever I wanted to. Now, of course, you got to pay an entrance fee. You know, you got to go in within set times. So we're going there tomorrow afternoon, and I will find, everyone set the intent that I will find my video recorder, camcorder's charge cord. Please help me find, everyone set the intent, because I can't find that damn.
We'll bring it in.
So look at my kitchen cupboard. Look at
Bring it on.
It shows up in your kitchen cupboard. I
Maybe it's
know.
your kitchen.
It'll be my kitchen
Get
cupboard.
your cupboards, yeah.
So
That's
we're
what
going to
little
film
stuff
it. We got a whole bunch of people with phones. We're going to make sure everyone's going to have their phone charged before we head out tomorrow afternoon, right?
Mhm.
So we're going to have phones charged. We're going to take lots of pictures. We're going to record lots of little bits and pieces going on. I'm sure there'll be some interesting shit that come around. When I was organizing this gathering, there was only 2 places that I knew I had to make sure we all went to. And the first one was Gigantia, and the second one is to go up in the Citadel, which is the old walled city, which is the oldest city, and it's built upon ruins that are, well, at least 1,200 years old is the original ruins of the walls. So, again, an interesting place, and Claire has spent quite a bit of time up there on previous trips to Gozo. So I want to see if you pick up a different energy, if you feel anything a little bit different this time. They've just reconstructed a lot of the walls, and they've just reopened the Citadel after doing a massive amount of reconstruction and refortification of the walls. So we're going to go up there to one of the most ancient areas, and it's the area when the Turks used to come and kidnap everyone on the island. People would hide out within this. They'd pull all the entire population of the island would go up under the walls and sit in the walls. And it's covered in catacombs underneath it too. Massive amounts we can't go into, I wish. But there's a huge amount of catacombs under there. Lots and lots of interesting.
Can we actually get to stand above the catacombs though, even though you can't get underneath it? So that would be really interesting, because a lot of what we did this afternoon, this morning. Anyway, at some point
before.
today,
That time.
a lot of the energies we were feeling were coming from below. Yeah. So that might be quite interesting.
You can go everywhere in the Citadel. Like it's an old walled city, so we can go up and go right up to the very, very top walls, and then literally work our way down and go into the cathedral that's there and get a feeling there too. He said, I really, really wish that we'd had the time, that we could have done a day trip over to Malta, because I really wanted to get everyone over. There's a couple of the temples in Malta that are pretty incredible, but there's a cathedral in Mdina, which is Malta's walled city, ancient walled city, and St. Paul's Basilica there is where all the Knights of Malta are buried. the original Knights of Malta. And I mean, besides the architecture is unbelievable, and the art and the mosaic tile floors you can spend hours looking at. Yeah, another place really interesting. We talk about things underneath. Underneath Mdina is entirely nothing but multiple levels of catacombs. Valletta, same thing. And some of the catacombs in Valletta you can now go into, and you can go into some of the catacombs in Mdina. So that was one of my things I really was hoping to maybe, but I don't know if we'll be able to organize it. It's a bit of a quite the day trip to get over to Malta and do something
Can't
like
fit
that.
everybody in one car.
We can't fit anyone in one car. We can like shrink everyone down. You just put us in a pocket. Yeah. So what about the dragons?
The dragons, Claire. I was thinking about the crack in the cover.
Okay.
Separation.
Yes, if that's a short story.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were here yesterday, here in Dallas, and we were just chatting, and I was listening to Linda talking, and I was aware that a young dragon came in.
That's right. I'd forgotten about. Okay, good. I've never got a chance to touch base with you back on this one, so I'm actually really interested to hear this.
Me too.
It was what I call a teenager, effectively, very youngish dragon, came scurrying in, bright green, but with red, sort of like a red line or red about him. So I was intrigued. So I had to divert my attention from Linda to see what he was doing. And my left brain translated what I was seeing was this dragon handing me a microphone. You know, one of those, like a lollipop with a round bobble on the top. And I looked at it, and there was a lead going off into the distance. And I was seeing a couple of rock and roll type dragons with what looked to me to be a piece of musical technology. So, having never had any experience of dragons with technology around them, I had no idea what this was, but I thought it was very important to take this microphone to the Chinese restaurant where we were going to eat. So I tucked it in energetically in a pocket, and we went. And I thought nothing more about it. And we were on this long table. Danny decided to sack the waiter and organise dinner by checking everything that everybody wanted on the menu. So we were all engaged with that for a while. And then there was this long conversation about Curtis's and Peter's perception of this dome over the whole island. It was a blocking energy.
Blocking energy.
Now, my experience is I'm seeing a lot of dead people, even though I haven't been warned about dead people. I knew there were a lot of dead people, and they were being prevented from leaving the vicinity. So of the whole island.
Double block.
Double.
Oh.
That could be a
No.
Yeah.
Oh, very.
racist people to go. They want.
Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, go on, Claire.
Okay. So I started talking about my experience when I was taken to Dartmoor in Devon by a couple of quite well-known leaders, and this was about 3 or 4 years ago. And the very first, this was quite a period after I started freeing dragons that I was seeing tethered. And Dartmoor, if anyone's ever been there, is usually very bleak, and the weather can change very quickly. But it was a bright, sunny day, and it was a lovely day. And the first, as we were approaching the first circle, a dragon swooped into me and said, "Whatever you do, do not go into that circle." So I didn't. It's quite a small circle, quite small stones, and I was watching everybody else in the group go into that circle, dowsing with the rods, enjoying the sunshine, sitting in the circle. And I couldn't understand, since none of them were showing any negativity at all, why the dragons didn't want me to go in there. Now, the shape of the circle was like a lollipop. It was round with a tunnel, and then there was a flat stone at the bottom. And I saw a couple of people were saying that this is called a blocking stone. So as soon as they said blocking stone, I got a download, because I know that dragon was giving me a download to say blocking flat is that this was where people were sacrificed. And the sudden revulsion was beginning to come into me because I realised that all those souls were still in the circle. And the blocking was to stop them releasing. And the intention was not only to have a ritual, but to keep people locked in the darkness and the terror perpetually in a period out of time. So I realised that if I stepped into that, because I was tuning into that time, and they were sacrificed, I was telling me they sacrificed 10 people every year for a total of 50 years. And I had a particular reason for doing that. And those people were all stuck still in there. And this dome shape was created. So I was getting, as I was chatting through all of this, I was getting some sort of sense on a much larger scale that the islands were at one time treated like one big stone circle. And a lot of people seem to be stuck for the same reason, a sort of blocking stone arrangement. That's what was coming into my head anyway, rightly or wrongly. So I was chatting all about this. And then eventually all the meals arrive, and I'm going to eat my fish, and I start taking some fish into me, which of course would have been swimming in the sea recently, and I suddenly started feeling unwell, and I said, there's something wrong with this fish, and all my appetite went. I was talking to Curtis, could see that a shift had changed. I saw him watching me, there'd been a shift of energy.
I felt that as well.
And we're having an irrelevant conversation as to whether it was the fish or something slightly more profound. And I saw a crack in this dome and this block. And it was like two lightning jabs creating this relief.
We've got someone unmuted somewhere.
Okay. So my perception was then that a lot of souls were then finding a way out. And I didn't think anything more about the dragons after this, but at the end of the dinner, and we were having some chats beyond that, I don't know, something Peter said suddenly triggered me that I had this microphone here. And we were thinking the microphone, I finally looked at this technology that these dragons, and they had amplified all of the sounds of all of our voices and all the conversation that we were having and all the energy we generated, and they magnified it all and they used it to crack open this. Wow, I missed all that.
Oh, see, I didn't get any of that. Wow. Okay.
And then we came home and we doused it and we found the cracks.
Yes.
We suspect that they are right.
Citadel, which is why then that's why I know we have to go to the Citadel.
That's tomorrow, isn't it?
And
No, that's not tomorrow. We'll do that maybe Tuesday.
Okay.
it's anyway, it's in Victoria.
It's in Victoria, yeah.
Northern part of Victoria, as far as I figured out. And it enlarged, and I think it's on the whole of Victoria now, because it was. When did I do my last measuring? This afternoon.
Oh, Victoria.
Yeah, Victoria. It started out like a small band, but it really enlarged to a nice angle. So.
Yeah, no, yesterday evening, I came into the group and I heard this story, and then when I went to bed, I didn't fall asleep immediately, so I thought, let's do something. And I thought, okay, all these souls here are trapped in perpetuality, but now there are cracks. So, and I've been to the Monroe Institute, I've learned to do retrievals and that kind of stuff. So I tried to do a mass retrieval, and I put 3 staircases through the cracks, and I put one big soul attractor light in the middle, and then a huge flow of souls just came flocking to that light and taking the staircases up. But it's still it's a tiny drop in the bucket, because there are so many here. It's really full of them.
So how many people?
So in my opinion, we really have to to the whole blockage away to
Three.
3 staircases. Yeah.
So how many people here have worked with souls and sea and all of this stuff? Because that's you. I know me. Nobody else knows that. That's Claire. Has anybody ever gotten energies? I mean, I go to places and I flop down on the wall. I flop down on a bank because I was tired in Puerto Rico, and I'm going, God, there's skeletons all under me. And I get up on the Spanish thing. There were skeletons all under me. It was the ball fields and where they buried all the losers of the ball tournaments because they were sacrifices. But look, we've got the beginnings of something that could be massively helpful. But there's people that have got the energy and other things. It's like the logistics of this is going to be extremely important. And all you guys that know what you're doing about logistics, think about that.
I think the logistics really has to focus on breaking the barrier more, so that we remove the barrier, and then we don't have to retrieve them. They can retrieve themselves.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
For the cracks.
But I feel this like a 3-point. I'll talk about it. Like a 3-point program of doing that because we need to get it. Because if we can get the 3 points, there's something about that geometry that will bring down the dome, at least for a bit. And it may be only for a bit. I don't know.
At least to relieve.
Yeah, to relieve the pressure.
Well, there's one thing. That's why I have hit the pink, otherwise I would forget.
But look what I put on today. I have never worn this shirt before. Ever.
Well, that's
Pink and
lovely.
green are heart colors, guys. So I haven't even heard this stuff. I missed it.
There is no pink on the ground here in Malta and Gozo. Although,
No pink energy, you mean?
no pink energy. It was brought down wherever you, what I measured anyway, and what I heard from Lisa, and this is a bit LMH, but LMH group, but it really was grounded all over the place as far as we could see. It's not grounded here because it's being kept from grounding by that. So that's also being used as blocking, or used to be from blocking the souls to go out.
But those souls are also blocking incoming energy of some sort.
Well, and that's one of the things I was going to say. When you said it was blocking not just the souls leaving, but souls coming back in.
And the energy spheres.
And I was just the first thing what I just said about the history of Malta, about how all these people left, and now they're all coming back. It's like they're being pulled to come back here. They're being pulled to come back to Gozo, to come back to Malta right now. And I think that could very well have a part of it if people are even slightly energetic. We talk about DNA. We talk about heritage DNA and your genetics. And if you've got your genetic code is keyed to Gozo, to Malta, and you're being drawn back to it, is there a reason why? Could the reason be
modeling thought of they coming back to die to add to that energy?
Well, that is it too. Like, is it like you know, kind of like you've got to come home to die because you're being called back, or is it on the flip side of that, being called back because now's the time to open it up, and it takes all hands on deck type thing. And the genetics is a really interesting thing. I've spoken to a ton of people. I've met lots of people. Gozo Malta has become kind of a little bit of a mecca for a lot of people from all over Europe because it's got good weather. Usually, our weather hasn't been great since everyone's arrived. It's almost like the wind is trying to blow us all off the island. And you have a lot of people who show up, and they literally just show up here from no planning. Like no planning, they just literally, it's like they come on a vacation and they go, oh, this is it. This is the place. And they literally pack up everything and just move without having a house, without having a job, without having anything. I have met so many people who've done exactly that. And a good portion of them are kind of the people that I talk about are very on the verge on the verge, like you can feel energetically, like it's like that waking moment. People who are very starting to wake up to, you start talking about one guy. So the Lighthouse grocery store. The guy who's the manager is from Slovakia. And what did he do there? He was a vice president of banking in Slovakia. And he said it got so horrible, so disgusting, he couldn't handle it anymore. And he came, just same thing, on vacation for like a week. And him and his wife were like, that's it, we're out of here. And they went home to Slovakia, sold everything, grabbed everything, and they moved to Gozo. And now he's managing a grocery store and loves it. But we started talking one day. And we started talking about the banking, and he started saying, oh, yeah, like the banking in Europe. And it's kind of like you suss each other out of how much do you know versus how much I know, and how deep can he go, because without. And we had this amazing conversation. So this is a guy who was wide awake. He knew exactly how corrupt banking was. He knew that the entire banking system in Europe was on the verge of collapse. And, well, but Europe is really, really particularly bad right now. And he said, like, he was like, he just knew. It was like, it didn't matter that he'd have to give up his, his fancy dancy job title, et cetera, et cetera. He just knew that it was time to get out. I'm meeting people who are homeschoolers, who are anti-vaccine, who kind of broken through the paradigm of the religious stuff and have come here to try and start all over again, et cetera. And they're all drawn here in this moment. And it's like, okay, the weather's nice, but it's not that nice. This is proof.
Yeah.
So,
It's cool and nice.
It's just windy, it's still nice.
it's just a little windy, that's all. So it's interesting that this is the draw that comes here. Now, the other thing, we were talking about, Claire, the circle, the tunnel. The one thing that they have been trying to build here for 25 years, it has been on the table, is a tunnel under the sea between Malta and Gozo. And it comes up, and it gets pushed down. It comes up, and it gets pushed down. It comes up, and again, they're doing it again right now. Everyone, the government's going, yes, we're going to build this tunnel. It's going to take 10 years to complete. It's going to cost bajillions of dollars, etc. And a lot of the Gazans are like completely up in arms, going, no frickin' way. Because right now, because it's a ferry ride between it, it kind of keeps the traffic quiet. Well, this is it. A bridge would make more sense. But it's not that far. It's not that far. It's literally. But they keep pushing this idea of a tunnel. Again, underwater, underground, underwater. Now, the other thing is the water in the channel between Gozo and Malta is real deep. It's not a shallow channel. It's really deep. So why are they pushing the idea of a tunnel?
They have found ruins in the sea. So there might be stuff underneath.
And that was something that Nick brought up, my husband, is there something that they know is there and they need an excuse to be doing all this underground construction, etc. Expensive underground. You got to have an excuse to be able to go after it. Is that what it is? I don't know. It's really interesting. But again, the whole idea of the tunnel and the circles. So you almost talk about two circles, Gozo and Malta being two circles with a tunnel between them, trapping the souls between both, that they can only go back and forth.
I think the time might be the one with the sword coming out of the water as well. The reading Canadian way. And we saw two people twice in the reading. What the card was, but out of the water.
Got your card with you?
The other room.
Do you want to go get them?
Yeah, sure, in the bag. Yes. Yeah, yeah. The lady of the lake.
The lady of the lake.
The lady
of the lake.
Yeah. Isn't that the one of swords?
Sorry.
Is it the one of swords? The ace of swords?
From the ace.
The lady in the leaf.
Yeah, the sleep around.
You're saying.
And then maybe after.
And I'll check it out.
Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. Anne's reminding us. We have all these wonderful people to bring the pieces together. Okay. I'm almost asleep, so excuse me. It's been the most intense, turbocharged day energetically. So I have pink essences that came here, and they're going to stay here. I'm leaving tomorrow, but the essences are going to stay, and they're going to do some more work. And Peter was just saying that the dome stopped energies coming in just as much as it stops energy leaving. So I was asked, well, I got the message to bring the essences here. So it's like the essences have come in on the ground, under the dome. Because we spent time today we spent an entire day and a half sitting in the coffee shop, apparently drinking endless cups of coffee, but actually we were all sort of working. And the pink essences were there today, and you did quite a lot of work with one of them. Do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I saw the pink essences, and I asked you the story about it, and then I got such a strong feeling. I want to hold on because I want to feel that. And she says, yeah, it's okay. So I picked, of course, the number 13, which is a lucky number for me. You can just that you say what it stands for, because you have the original intent in this one.
So the pink essences came in 2006, but they didn't do anything until 2012. They started to come out, but it's only really since you all have started talking about this pink thing. This is why, Danny, you know, I know that Danny was, I thought she was going to vomit if anyone said pink again. Oh my God, Danny's going to have a fit. But that's why the pink stuff made sense to me, because I knew that these energies had come in under the radar in 2006. And they just hung there. They didn't do anything for, I mean, quite a long time. It was at least 6 years before. I couldn't talk to anybody about them. They were just there. And they came into Dragonhold, home of the dragons. So I think that was why they came in there, because the dragons could protect them. Anyhow, there are 13 of them. And the last one, 13, the number 13 to me, personally, if you add 1 and 3, you get 4. And to me, that is the number of the diamond, which represents to me the completion of duality, because it's the connection of the two members. And if you extend the 2 triangles, you get the diamond. So number 13 to me is the number of the diamond. And then I think it was in one of your last pink readings, Peter, you were saying that like 99% of the interference was gone. Isn't that right?
Yeah,
Like that?
99 point something. Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, the end of this, of duality has always been about the merging of the integration, complete integration of dark and light. And it hasn't been about separating, it hasn't been about pushing the dark away, it has been about integrating these energies and going beyond them, essentially, in order to get out of this matrix. And so, for me, this is the merging, number 13 is the merging of these two energies. And that was, you've been working with that
And that was exactly what I've been working with for at least the last 2 years, just to integrate the both sides.
Yeah.
So it was sort of a validation that I picked that number, and, and that was what it stood for.
So he's sitting in the square today. If you they're giving you
I wish I had been there for this, because I'm sure the entire village of Shauna is going to be talking about this for years.
We were being listened to at lunch.
Oh my God.
There was so much being talked about, and people were just zoning in on us.
Yeah.
And listening. It was really,
So
you could see.
yeah. So I put the bottle to my heart, and the first thing I got from that was so much positive energy, so high frequency, and it felt so good. But at the same time, I could feel sort of crying, crying, an energy of crying somewhere. It was light, it was not too heavy. It was relatively smooth, but it was both the opposites. It was, and that's something that I still not had, still a blockage in me. And after a while, that disappeared. And then, I don't know how much time, but later on, my jaw started shaking. So there was another blockage disappearing. And then I suddenly got we're sitting here at this ley line between this pillar and the church. And let's just infuse it with some energy. So I set myself on the pillar, and I was sitting like this in front of the square, and people were passing and looking strange.
You're pretty much pinned to it.
I was pinned to the pinnacle. And I was just sort of infusing that ley line. But as soon as I set myself there, it was like so heavy. It was incredibly heavy energy, but I just stood my place, and I just sat there with that energy, and I slowly tried to make it bigger, and then I slowly tried to infuse it into the ley line. And it took quite a long time, but then and the church was you had the cupola, and then in front of it was sort of a flat surface with the bells and the Maria image, and that felt like an energetic wall, a blockage. And after quite some time, that started to shimmer, and I felt that it was opening up, dissolving. And so then suddenly after that dissolved, I felt the energy dying down. It was all quiet, and I thought I was finished. And then suddenly out of that small bottle came another wave of energy, and I went. And then we went for another round, and I felt the oppression again but now it was from behind the wall. And we went again, and it took some more time, and after that it also died down. There are still things that have to happen there, but and I told the energy also to just go in there, and in that center you can spread out, because there's sort of a wheel with 8 spokes, and you can just spread out and fill the whole church, and fill up, and from the church go to all the other ley lines, and just fill the spaces with this energy. So that was basically what I've been doing there.
Oh, very cool.
You know, what you're talking about, some of this stuff, it was coming to me while you were speaking, is, Alice, you said the dome is over the church, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the purpose of the church, ostensibly, at the beginning of back there, and literally because they had people, it was to protect the people. And if they think if the church and the dome around it is trying to protect the original intent, all of these things and stopping it. And the truth of the matter is, you can't suppress the dark. If you don't marry the two, you have no life.
Yeah.
Then we don't need to blow it up. You need to mingle it and dissolve it through.
Yeah.
That's not, I mean, that's very different. I mean, yes, we all, look, you have to understand, I've been living not with my friends, okay?
It's okay.
But what I'm saying is, if we go through to that, so this is very, very different. I'm going to go.
You've got to go there.
I need to desperately go there.
Yeah. So that's basically the story behind my son burn.
And he is a personification of pink for the environment.
Edward represents the pink.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you might have noticed in our group photos, we're sitting like this. We decided that this was pinking a little bit.
Pinky.
Yeah, and
And
there's
not
one last
other.
piece to mention, and that was at the end that Peter sat in again sitting in the same place you were, Edward, in a direct line with the dome. Peter sat with his beautiful pink card, and Claire and I sat on either side of him with a pink bottle each, and we just sat, you know, the way you do, and
The way you do in the
The way
middle
you
of the
do.
village square.
half the time, and they're all going, "What the fuck are they doing?" Anyway,
We're corrupting you.
yeah, and it's
Right
Sunday.
there.
On a Sunday.
And we're doing things obviously with their church, you know, it's not, it's, yeah, suspicious. So, yeah,
weren't subtle either.
no.
No, I'm not
but-
really walking around
Can't
it.
imagine you
Dowsing
being
it.
subtle ever.
This group is anything but subtle, I will say.
But what I saw anyway at the end of that was that the dome, which was, as Edward said, there was a facade in front of the real power and the real corruption in that place is actually under the dome, which is a separate, it's a separate thing to the facade of the church. It's right behind it. But what I saw was the dome opening up. You know when a dome is shaped like that, it's almost like a flower in reverse petals, and they started to open up. So I don't know where that's gotten to now, but it's, you know.
Be interesting to maybe go back there before you go home and just measure that energy again and see if you feel a difference.
I think it should be emphasized here, just one piece to add to this is the local energy that we have. We were more or less in front of the church, but way back to where the little luncheon place was. But over to my right, I could feel there was a hovering, powerful local energy that somehow needed something to come in from the outside to add some piece of X that could then allow a local energy to come in and blast through from the outside. Yes. So this isn't. I think it's worth emphasizing. This isn't a bunch of foreigners coming in into somebody else's space and doing stuff that we think. This is a locally. For me, the impression I was getting, it was a locally initiated doing that required some
External.
X factor.
Yeah.
Assuming it's external DNA.
But that's what I was just saying, external DNA is actually a really interesting point because, again,
Their own DNA might be too weak, as they have been
cut off.
I'm very cut off from
cut off.
Under the
Well,
blood.
they have been,
Dome.
no, they have been, that too, but also have been removed from the island about 500 years ago.
Yeah.
So the genetics, and then new ones came in, so that the genetics are not that strong.
Okay, so that's an interesting part of that. When we talk about the history of Malta and Gozo. Throughout time, for all of known history, every single empire has fought to take over Malta and Gozo. Every empire, from the Phoenicians, the Greeks, the Romans, the French, like Napoleon invaded. Hitler tried everything in his power to get a hold of Malta and Gozo. So this is, like I said before, there's something else going on here. During, in 1565, one of the most famous parts of history for Malta and Gozo is when the Turks invaded. And the Ottoman Empire invaded in 1565, and they laid siege to the entire country. And they took Gozo, and they razed it to the ground. They kidnapped or killed every single Gozotan person on the island in 1565. Everyone, with the exception of the few that were able to hide away in the caves and not be found. It was wiped out. So basically, that entire genetic stock, if you will, was removed completely from the island.
What's the difference between a Gozotan and a Maltan? Because I'm Maltese. Because I will tell you, I got told in no uncertain terms by Mario, the guy in the trick, that he was not
Maltese.
Don't ever make the mistake of calling a Gozo.
I learned that.
Maltese.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you
People
don't
from
get
Gozo Island are Gozo. They are not Maltese. They will tell you this in no uncertain terms.
Yes.
One of the reasons they don't want the stinking tunnel is to keep the fucking Maltese out. I'm shit you not. Seriously, if you ask any Gozo, do you want the tunnel? No fucking way, because the Maltese will be over here every fucking week, and we can't keep them out. At least now there's a ferry ride. They'll line up in all the ferries, so keep most of them out. No, it is two separate. There is actually a political. No.
Well, I mean.
I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say no.
Well, you're talking about DNA.
I don't know. That's a really good question. Is there literally a genetic breaking point? That's really, really interesting.
And considering there's such a deep channel between the two, I wonder were they the same landmass, or do you know?
Well, that's one of the interesting things, because you've got there's not just Malta and Gozo are the two largest of the islands. In between that, there's the island of Comino, which is very, very small. I think it's only 2.5 kilometers long by maybe 3/4 of a kilometer wide. There's Cominoto, and there's FIFA and Fifla. Well, and they're just fucking rocks. That's it. All the others are fucking rock. It's not an island, really. It's just a rock. If you look at the underwater maps, like on Google Earth, if you raise, Nick has gone into a lot of stuff and looking into the research of that, of like basically they talk about like the flood waters coming up. If you lower the flood waters, or the water levels by 200 feet, which is one of the legendary numbers, is that the waters rose 200 feet, all of Malta and Gozo, and they would all be one landmass. They would all be a single landmass attached to Sicily.
Right. Because they said it's a day trip to Sicily. It's only 50 miles.
You can spit on Sicily from here on a clear day. No, I'm just lying. But yeah, you can take the hovercraft.
With wind's blowing.
Yeah. You can take the hovercraft from Malta to Sicily, and I think it's like an hour and 20 minutes tops, and it's that close. And the only people that Gosotans hate more than the Maltese is the Sicilians. That's just a little aside to all of this. Now, the genetic thing is a really interesting question, though, because
of the Malta.
Because of Malta. But then you've got to go back into the equation of the Knights of Malta. So, the most powerful order.
They came from everywhere.
Right. Everyone who is anyone, pretty much, is involved with the Knights of Malta. Now, I heard, Igor, I don't know if you're here, he sent me a whole pile of information back December of 2016. That when Putin put this one guy in charge of defense, so it became whatever, I guess the Russian equivalent of the Minister of Defense or Secretary of Defense, before he accepted the post, he was sent to Malta to be knighted as a Knight of Malta, and then he was brought back in Russia and made a Knight of Malta. Now, when we went researching the Russian connection, it's mind-blowing. First of all, the fact of almost all of the Russian royal family were Knights of Malta, to the point of, and at one point in the 1700s, the Russian Tsar was the head of the Order of the Knights of Malta. And he had to get a special dispensation from the Vatican because, of course, they're Russian Orthodox. They're not Roman Catholic. And they had to get like a special thing from the Pope to give him permission to be head of the Order of Knights of Malta, because, of course, it's a Vatican order. When I was going through all that information, though, now, you guys all know me, I have been digging and researching for fucking years about all this kind of stuff, like the Cabal and the Illuminati and the Knights of Malta. All of a sudden, I come across information, this is in December, when we start talking about, and I talked about it on Wednesday, with the Federal Reserve, all the money, the gold that Tsar Nicholas had given to Abraham Lincoln to start their own international bank of settlements between Russia and America, which was then stolen by the Federal Reserve in 1913. and that this money is now owing. Like, hello, the interest payments are now due on the 55,000 tons or 55 tons, I can't remember. This shipload of gold that Russia had sent to America. And the interest payments are, and apparently in 1913, the woman who would be the quasi-Russian equivalent of the Empress at this point, and her son were in Malta negotiating this gold treaty. And I actually went and backtracked and got the proof that yes, she was actually here in that time period in 1913, and her son is one of the Knights of Malta. But then going into it, I started looking into the Knights of Malta, and I came face to face with what I consider has to be a Mandela effect. Because now the Knights of Malta have their own passport, they have their own currency, they have official observer status in the United Nations as a sovereign nation. Now this, I'm telling you, when I first dug into the Knights of Malta back in 2011, 12, 13 and stuff, no, they didn't have UN observer status, and they sure as fuck didn't have their own currency, because I was dealing with all the currency intel at the time. That would have been a huge bell for me. So now we have this even more powerful, per se, beyond the historical, and we have everyone who's anyone, right? Nelson Mandela was a Knight of Malta. Robert Mugabe, over in Zimbabwe, Knight of Malta. Rumor has it that the King of Morocco is also a Knight of Malta. The Dutch Queen is, of course, all the royal families. The former King of Spain, all Knights of Malta. Okay, so again, it all comes back to why? Why? And it's not just about a name. It could be the Knight of New York, it could be the Knights of fucking London, the Knights of Malta. Why here? Now, they have their own sovereign place in Rome. The head of the Order of Knights of Malta has an actual building, which is like the Vatican. It is a sovereign city-state, the Knights of Malta headquarters in Rome. Again, this is a new piece. I've never seen this before in my life. It is considered a sovereign state, right within the heart of Rome. Right next to, just a spitting distance from the Vatican. So, why Malta? And it keeps coming back to this thing about you keep talking about. The energies here. Something has been done to hold at bay the energies and to block the incoming at the same time.
And I've never seen a place where there are so many ley lines.
Yeah.
You fall over them.
Yeah. They're everywhere. And that's
every 25 meters. I checked down just a road today.
Yep.
Because they were making a spectacle of themselves, so I decided
they're making a spectacle of themselves.
We were a distraction for you.
They were keeping everyone distracted. Well, Peter did this big work. Tracking down them there later.
Well, it's normal to start dowsing down the street here in no. But there are so many ley lines just crossing, and at the end of the day, I try to draw a map of the major ley lines. I know where to begin, but how to connect it all together with the ley. But it must be the ley lines. I'm so bloody sure with that motor of U2 creating whatever it is. At the moment, it's unbalanced. But once we've got the balance in it, you saw what's going to happen, and we take the final step up, or the pink will come down, or whatever. Yeah. The pink is here now.
Well, it's here now, and it's going into the green. We're going into the green now, and what I feel like we have to do is doing the center, as in pointing our energies and sending the green, whether the line, a wave that goes through to that, and that will go up there, as in the one I saw there.
Right,
There we go.
right.
Up
You
there.
showed that, and I saw that as ley lines. I never even said anything because I didn't even know you had had this whole conversation
And
at all. And
yeah.
I picked up on ley lines, and I was like, I've never really heard ley lines on the
That's one of the
side.
things that go through. You need to put the green through to get to the pink and the two will merge. And that will go through
Have
there.
you noticed that on that dome, you have an, how do you call it, octa?
Octagon.
Okay, I wanted to ask about, you brought that up, about the octagon. Was it you and I that were talking? Who was it? Who was I talking to about the octagon on the Charlotte Church? With the pineal glands? Yeah, every point of the octagon at the church, the rotunda, is this octagon shape, and every point has got, like, you know, the quintessential Vatican pine cone, pineal gland at every point.
So those that we were counting.
That's all they're counting around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think those are what's putting out and making people's pineal gland supposedly shrink?
Yeah, I think it's shrinking and
Stopping.
suppressing
Yeah.
is the word.
Suppressing it.
That
On
could
the
be
far
The imbalance is why we
Yeah,
can't
that
all
the
the balance.
fluoride and everything.
Yeah, the imbalance, and that's why there's a blockage there, because the imbalance. I think that links to the tuning of the bells.
So what color do you have up there instead? I mean, what color is that dome? I haven't been there. I haven't looked. But
It's cloudy,
Yeah.
or we need to put green through it.
You need to put green through it, but what
Yeah.
color is it now?
It's cloudy, that's when I saw the cloud over
Are you
the.
talking about gray cloud?
Yeah,
white?
smoking. That's when we
Gray.
saw the aura the first day. We went to the
Well, gray
central.
has all colors.
Yeah.
White has all colors.
Yeah.
You could extract green from the dome and make,
I think it's the blue and the yellow.
Yeah.
well, of course
Blue,
it's
yellow,
white.
intonation,
Yeah.
green. The green tunnel is there.
What
Just
was the
saying if I
red
can pull
dragon?
it from the
Compared to
dome.
the green dragon. What about
The red, green dragon, and the sea as the blue.
that? Yeah.
Oh,
That was the sort of colour, wasn't there? Was it pink as well?
you were talking about the water.
You have the water
Yes.
dragon.
Yes.
But-
Yes.
You saw water as being.
There's something about it's a very unusual place because there's very little, if any, overground water.
There's none.
So all the water here comes up in aquifers, I guess, and will be going directly into use. And only when there's very, very serious rain would there be a temporary water run.
Yeah.
But there's no river system that runs down into the sea. So it's not the normal water system at all.
The sea.
Yeah. So I just feel there's something about that as well.
And the blockage, stopping that from doing it.
It's not cleansing.
It's
not
purging or anything.
Mm. Yeah.
But it could be part of that whole
Just,
dome.
it's being recycled all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only,
Because it starts.
so nothing clean's
Just
coming.
what becomes insular, right? So if you imagine that it is a dome blocking even the water, all the water here is desalinated to make drinking water. So it's cycled
Yeah,
back
cycled all
within,
the time.
cycled continuously
Yeah.
within that set structure.
Yeah.
There's nothing fresh. Like you say, the water. So for example, when you drive to, and you guys will see it, when you drive from Marcelforn up to Victoria, so where we are now, as you drive up the road, on this side of the road for most of the way up, there's a very, very nice deep ravine. And in November, December, January, that water level was right to the top. It was beautiful. It was full. All the farmers were really pleased because it meant that they would have lots and lots of water to be able to push out into the fields. We had lots of rain for the first time in 3 years because it was a complete drought here for 3 years. That water is completely gone now. Now, even though it's only May, we haven't technically gone into the dry season until the end of June is when you hit the real heavy dry season. We had rain just last week. And yet, it is, I was driving by it just a couple days ago and I looked in, I was like, wow. And my girlfriend said, yeah, no, it's been empty, dry for a month.
But probably refilling the.
It refills the aquifers underneath it, all the natural aquifers, and it seeps back out into the land, which is why the farmers are thrilled. They're not pumping water from that reservoir, but they know that that means that the water will then dissipate across the fields.
I don't know if Lisa mentioned it on the show, someone's mentioned it there as well, but Lisa has some connection to August, September. being like, as in emerge,
Emerge.
as in home, merge.
Well, it's going to be interesting to watch. I mean,
I haven't seen that.
it's really interesting because the tunnel thing keeps coming up.
They've been chemtrails.
And the tunnel thing, oh, chemtrails have been horrific for the last 2 to 3 weeks. We had a lovely clear time. April was mostly, I think I even talked about it on one of the shows that, yeah, it would have been April, early April. We had just moved into this house and I was up on the roof and I looked up and the sky was the most brilliant blue. It was the blue of my childhood. Do you know what I mean? Like how long it's been since you saw that blue. And it was beautiful, beautiful clear. And then for the last 3 weeks, it has been continuous chemtrails. And it's a new blend of chemtrails. And we're feeling it. We're saying this is a different one because you can feel it. It affected you physically, how it affected the sinuses, how it infected the throat. People all instantly, within a day of them starting doing these sprays, sore throats, coughing, deep, dry coughing that they can't seem to move anything. And it was
We've been having that where I'm from as well. I mean, I'm a pharmacist, so when they come in and hack, they come see me.
Yeah.
And when they get sick and they give them their little temporary cures, whatever they are, and I'm not judging at that point, but the coughs have been lasting for months afterwards. I have friends and I haven't talked to them in forever, and they made weird little devices, and I have one up at my house, and it really does disperse the chemtrails of me. I don't know how to make them. I can bring one and throw it at Huh? Yeah, some of the things. I'm just saying, have we tried putting those up here?
No, but the lovely Anne, and I had a conversation. We're going to build a new type of organite. Because the one thing I have, I don't have resin. I don't resonate with resin. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because it's artificial. It's kind of right, and it stinks. And it's not something that's child friendly. Like it's not something you can do with the kids dealing with resin. So one of the things that I talked to Anne about was doing one with beeswax. And the one thing I happen to have is copious amounts. I got a couple of kilos of raw beeswax.
No, well, they don't last as long as resin, but they're grand. They work fine.
Okay.
And so Anne brought me a silicone muffin tray with like for the six or eight little things for the silicone, and she brought me some crystals, and Nick is going to go scavenge all the metals that we need for it, and we're going to sit down with the kids and we're going to make some beeswax organite, and we're going to put them together, and I've got a few ideas because it's not just going to be metal. I'm going to be putting some copper. I'm going to be winding some copper windings into there because I have a theory that I want to play with.
Yeah, I wonder how much of what they're doing with the chemtrails is causing some of our climate change. I don't think it's all climate change. I just think it's manipulated change as well. I'm not denying climate. Please don't misunderstand me.
Oh, I totally deny climate change.
But I'm saying, in where I come from, I'm in Texas, and I drive 52 miles to work and back home, and I pass an average of 6 planes a day putting those on, and I can see them. I can just watch them, and then when I'm coming home, I can see they're feathery and where they're coming.
Yep.
And I'm getting to the point where I was so blinded by the light coming in, I was going, "Where's the goddamn chemtrail? At least I could see the road." And I decided that I could get better sunglasses. But I'm serious. It was so common because there was always, up to a certain point, there was this haze, and I didn't have to worry about it till I got to a certain point in the road, and by then the sun would be up just enough that if I put the cover down and hunched 20, I could see. And we didn't have chemtrails for about a week. And I looked at it and I thought, my God, without that crap, what a beautiful sky. What a beautiful, and they admit they make them now.
Well, they kind of,
but they
sort of,
say they're helping
sort
to
of.
see the clouds so we'll get rain. We've had the rainiest year in history. Please stop. We've had
Australia doesn't need any more fucking rain
California
to stop the chemtrails.
Exactly. Yeah. I come from a place that we were in drought for 5 years, and we were 120 feet below, and we were down to the point on some of our lakes where we get our water from and some things that it hadn't been over 40% full in 2 years, and now we're averaging above 100%. I think they can back off.
Yeah, it's time for them to
If
back
that was,
off.
or
If that
come up
was
with
the
another
actual
excuse.
reason.
I said, or come up with a better excuse.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the whole chemtrail thing.
Yeah.
Did get me started. But it's interesting because I'm beginning to think. So someone brought up something. Okay, I've got to try and trigger myself to remember exactly what the article was. Talking about that was it. NASA's just announced that there is a man-made barrier now around the Earth, right? Okay, that's hysterical. Well, first of all, we've been talking about this for ages. There's now a third Van Allen belt. They drained, they accidentally drained one of the Van Allen belts and grounded it into Earth. That was in, oh God, I can't remember. Tom? Where's Tom?
The Mandela effect.
I can't even remember what it was, but it was at least 12 or 15 years ago. It was an experiment they were doing. They were grounding energy out of the Van Allen, but somehow they just drained the whole thing, one by one.
That would be quite easy.
Yeah. So now there's a new one. So that was the whole thing. NASA announced that there's now a third Van Allen belt is now formed underneath the other two to, further just, keep the Earth, completely constricted and blocked off. So this article that came out, there's a man-made, and they start talking about ELF waves. And I'm sitting there going, you mean like HARP? This is what we're talking about? We're talking about radio waves, and you mean HARP, right? And that it's literally confining all of this energy and which is just an excuse for them to be able to say there's a man-made fucking constructed barrier around the planet. But we go back, because all of these things are still frequency.
Yeah.
Regardless of what ELF, ULF, whether it's ultraviolet, it is everything still frequency. So what is the frequency that they're trying to block out? Because that's one of the big things for me is I honestly believe that it's also frequency that they're trying to block out frequencies that they know are coming in, i.e. the kind of the good frequencies that we probably all want and need, and also sending out frequencies.
Isn't it the same dumb construct again?
Well,
here.
Well, exactly. So, but again, come back. Okay, so I want to ask a question. From those of you guys who've talked about this dome construct and you've seen it, have you ever experienced this anywhere else? Have you ever seen this anywhere else?
No.
I think when we got here, we definitely felt it. It was very much surreal and very derealized.
So there is no low frequency thing around the Earth. Anyway, not in the energetics. You can't doubt it. It isn't there. There are McDonald's, but that thing isn't there.
We apologize. We here from America apologize.
I can't find it.
We from America apologize for McDonald's. Yes.
We didn't even notice them for the first 20 years where I was living. We had Whataburger.
I don't think it's such an energy blockage. I think it's more of a what you can't see exactly what's in as well from above. But before the plane actually got into Malta, I saw the heart clouds and the chemtrails. I took a picture of that as well. But as soon as we came down, I started feeling this energy and I couldn't see it. The sky was on the plane, I could see it. It was clear skies. That's what I found interesting. As in, it's blocking also.
Because you have clear skies here.
Exactly.
And what I think NASA is trying to do, which of course I can't prove, is they want us to create that thing by telling it.
Talking.
Yes. It's there, so therefore believing it, therefore creating.
Oh, it's there. So then we manifest it.
Yep.
Because they can do it, so we have to do it.
Good point.
What about the frequencies and the above? Did you see somebody posted in the UnFuckers about they were filming the shoreline and there was that it was almost like the vibration.
And where was that?
I can't remember.
Yes, I saw that. I was like, this ain't natural. I'm sorry, folks. There's no weird pattern that makes that pattern of the water.
To see whether or not there was going to be sea life trauma in that spot.
Yep.
Very soon.
You're seeing something like the energetic shimmer that you come off of all living beings.
Was that something?
And sometimes that comes off as you're dying. I'm talking about like the sea life.
Yeah. That was
I saw
was
the
really
article about
awful.
the pelicans near of Florida. They are suddenly dying.
We were getting all animal die-offs in massive groups. Oh my God.
Fish.
Let's see what
Fish.
they
Birds as well.
Oh.
Dropping out the sky. Well, and this is and that I've talked about this quite a bit because that you can look at the magnetics, right? Because if you talk about birds and sea life, they have internal GPS. They tend to have migratory patterns, and they follow natural patterns. They've been following the natural patterns for hundreds, if not hundreds upon hundreds of generations. The whales that go. Here's the spawning ground. Here's where they breed. Here's where the calving grounds are. Here's where they go in the summer to the winter, etc. And if all of a sudden the magnetic fields of the planet are all changed and are all over the place, and I suspect that they're highly in flux. Not just. And I posted a picture a while ago, and Lisa posted it. Oh God, on the one people show way back, maybe January, that showed. It was a really good representation, so it showed like the globe. Yes, the globe. It showed a globe. Okay, and then it showed the torus field of the magnetic lines, and the yellow being the North Pole, and the blue being the South, and how they flowed around the planet. And then the image was supposedly showing what it would look like during a pole shift. And then all of a sudden, it was all broken, and there were like little jumps, and they were all over the place. But that's exactly what we're, from boots on the ground, when I'm talking to people who are working with compasses and are taking the measurements, they're talking about being a friend of mine in Scotland, up in the hikes up in the moors. And she's out there trying to find north, and her compass is doing this. Just sitting. And her phone, she pulls out, she's like, okay, well, I fucked my compass somehow, my wheel, like pop, physical compass. I'll pull out the GPS on the phone, and the GPS on the phone can't even tell her where she is, let alone where her phone is, where north is, where anything is. So we're seeing magnetic flux. And if you talk about migratory animals, that's got to affect them too. And look at it. I was joking to say flamingos showed up last year in Siberia. And so they're like, dude, you took a wrong turn. At the 7-Eleven, you were supposed to turn left. And somehow you ended up in Siberia.
Anybody watch, I don't know if y'all, because you're all from North America, but the Discovery Channel, does that come across over here? We have something about the crab fishermen.
Yeah.
All right. The last time I saw it, a week or two ago, they were on there and they were starting out their new season. So they showed the people trying to follow the old crab migrations, and some of them following what they predicted because of the change in the temperature of seawater.
Right.
And those crabs absolutely followed the coldness of this. So I think there's a number of things that can be affecting.
But even the magnetics are dealing with that too.
But that's what I'm saying. There's questions about
the
that.
flow of where this is. So if you actually look at not just the water, but the air, the jet streams.
Oh yeah.
Jet streams are.
The Gulf Stream
They flow in these set places all the time.
They shoot. But have you seen them lately?
No,
What they are
they're
doing.
fucked.
I think it's actually here.
There's
Because the birds are quite before the bells ring. Still, yesterday the meal last night as well. Last night was about
That's right. We were talking about that.
And it was the vibrations and the
Exactly.
tone.
the wind goes down. It's silence, and then you hear birds until after the bells are rung, and it was all like.
and then everything comes back.
Because I've noticed how loud and beautiful sounding the birds are around here.
Right.
I mean, we were just, it was like you could be blind and enjoy this place.
Yeah, but
Because of that.
they're woken up every 15 minutes.
I don't know why they were 15 minutes with the church bell. You guys told me that I was going to hear bells. I never heard bell last night. I guess I was sleeping.
You know you're very lucky. You were on the far side of anywhere from any one of the churches. You're probably one of the safest church areas.
Everybody knows about drawing the cross and breaking the energy, right?
Yeah. So,
We should break their energy.
so yeah, no, and that's what we joke about this house here. Even though we are literally the church here in Marcelforce is 100 meters away from our house, maybe 100 meters. But the way sound moves, we literally don't hear the church bells. We heard the church bells louder on the other side of the bay when we're in the apartment than we do now. Now, if we're out in the back, you just kind of go, oh, yeah, I think I hear, yeah, it's the church bells. They're ringing, okay. And we're
Danny, I wonder how you managed to find a house where you didn't hear the church bells.
Yeah, how did I manage to find a house where you can't
For a
hear the
decent
damn
price.
church bells?
It's amazing, Danny.
So yeah,
Dum, dum.
the insanity continues.
I wish they would stop.
Yeah, we'd like the insanity to stop just for a little bit.
I think there's a really like a good night's sleep, right?
Yeah,
Now you're gonna make me wake up.
You're gonna find pizza.
I think so.
So we're apparently taking a little bit of a bathroom break now.
Now we're going to call.
He's gonna go call Putin. So does anyone?
He has a bathroom break.
So, anyways, if you guys have that, I'm still. Oh, of course, the phone is like freaking me out. Okay, so I guess I have to get my reading glasses.
Get longer arms.
Right. I need to either get longer arms or find my reading glasses. Right, I have my reading glasses. You know it's bad when Danny has to pull out the reading glasses. Yeah. So let's see. No, I don't even know. I haven't been following the chat at all, guys. So let's see. Now I can't see the screen at all. It's just a blur. Hey, look. Now I can read this phone now.
Maybe get someone to.
Just trying to see what everyone's going on.
May I just,
She's about to go on the chat right now.
Yeah.
That's what she's doing.
may I just add to year 30?
There's a person in the next room, the angle of the mirror, you can see it. Which next room? This mirror here, that is a glass case ridiculousness.
And I'm
not even
sitting in
sure
front
what
of
happened.
It's me.
I look like I'm in the I look like I'm out.
Yes, I see it now.
My big mouth.
Well, apparently they're seeing people in the mirror.
I can see me.
Wow. I can see something.
Oh, I bet they do think that mirror is.
Oh, okay. What he does is it says, if you look in the mirror, there's something near dude's neck. Then it's gone. Anyone see that in the reflection a second ago? There it is again. Next to his head. Okay, next to whose head, Burma? Who's can somebody please
Edward.
define? Was it Edward's head over there?
We're hiding
The pink person?
I see myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
And then Tom said there's a person in the next room from the angle of the mirror. You can see it.
I mean, this room, I mean, this room.
Now I think before you go.
The next room is just a glass place that you can go in and.
Or did someone else? So are you guys just seeing a real weird double reflection? Is that maybe it?
Yeah, I think
I don't know. I don't know.
Male or female?
There's no consent.
Spirits in here helping.
So,
We're trying to find.
any of you guys got any questions out there in the live? I can't monitor the live stream from here at all. So I do that.
Earl's got his hand up.
What was that, love?
Said Earl's got his hand up. Come on out, Earl.
Hey,
Hey guys.
Hey, Earl. Yay.
So the whole talk about Malta, and you know how you said, Danny, that how people came back. Well, doesn't that remind you how it was with Israel? How people came back to Israel?
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But with all the wave lines and all that, don't you think it's reason why Malta is so important? It's because it's where everything began. Why would it be so important for everyone about this place? Either that or it's the original Garden of Eden.
Yeah, there you go. That's an interesting theory. The lost 13th tribe of Israel. If we actually believe in that.
Yeah, probably.
And the surfacing of the certain sign of exfoliate, the fucus.
Oh,
Yeah, interesting.
A fucus? That's the 13th sign of the zodiac, the new one?
it's also good to see you all. I'm really loving it.
What? What was that? Say it again, Earl.
I'm loving seeing you all.
But he said he nearly bombed.
No, Bobby here. No.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
So what does he say about was it the Israelites?
Well, he said like how the Israelites were all drawn back to Israel type thing. He said, I'm saying what the Maltese are all being drawn back to Malta. He was like,
There was a big push back in the 80s and 90s for people coming back to Israel. There was this whole big push to have Jews come back.
well, that's because they needed to control the Gaza Strip.
And the other one is they weren't actually Jews, original Jews.
No, exactly. No, and that's the major point,
they
right?
came back.
Anyway, I'm going to mute myself. So.
Okay, thanks, Earl. Bye. Any of the rest of you UnFuckers out there going to say anything?
Those Jews coming back were not Jews, like Mercy was saying, the old Khazarians.
Yeah, exactly.
The Caucasian landholders. They were not the Sabras that are born and raised in Israel right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very big difference. Very, very. But then again, you talk about genetics. So again, we get back to that whole genetic question. If, for example, all the Gazans were wiped out in 1565 by the Turks, and you talk about those coming back, I don't know.
And how are they being drawn? Are they being drawn here?
Yeah. Situations like their own personal life, like they can't do what they want to do anymore in Canada, the US, the UK.
So something in them, and it must be your heart. Otherwise, there is no way you will move.
No, exactly.
So something in the heart tells them to go back to. That must be pretty strong if it's not really that deep in your DNA.
Yeah, it has to be. There's a lot of interesting. But even if you think, even if from 1565 to now, we're talking how many hundreds of years?
200.
So you're talking 200?
That's a bit late.
But we're talking about, like those people who are here. We're talking about this dome. It's maintaining. It's holding all those souls in, and not allowing any others to come in. So it's almost like a mini rinse and repeat cycle right within this area. So never mind the earth full rinse and repeat cycle, but here. So,
with the water as well.
yeah.
The physicality of it as well.
Yeah, the physicality of it. Yeah, that's really interesting.
Unless you get water into the vapor clouds of respiration.
Yep. And it just keeps coming in and
Just
out.
like water.
That's really interesting. And it keeps coming back to this control structure of the Knights of Malta. Right?
And why are they on Malta?
The Catholic Church.
And probably the machine is here.
Yeah.
And being more Catholic.
Yeah. Well, and so you look at that and you say, like, from the perspective, as we were joking earlier, never call a Goziton Maltese, right? And it goes vice versa too, trust me, right? I mean, the Maltese, for the most part, look down on the Gozitans as being the peasants, the farmers, right? You know, they're just like the farmers and the peasants type thing. They're much more lottie-da over in Malta. So almost like that little division right there, almost like an imbalance between the two.
We'll see what this night will bring.
What's this
The
night
dreams
shall
and
bring?
there's some dowsing to do. Claire will do it, whatever it is she's doing. We have some dowsing to do tonight.
Doing a bit of something.
Can I just go to sleep? I just want to go to sleep.
You can sleep on the square tomorrow.
Where I'm where
He's sitting there with a cup of coffee.
The distraction.
This will be the distraction for tomorrow.
It's not like it happened on purpose. It just seemed to be the place that we went to for lunch. But it's just been a draw. It's been a total draw.
Do you think we should all go there tomorrow? Well, we're all going, darling, we're all going to be going there tomorrow because we have to meet Francis in Shara to go to Gigantia. So we could all meet.
Well, Anne's got to go around about 10 o'clock. So I'm
I know.
going to take her. I'm probably going to take her to the
In Jaffa.
ferry.
And then
So with Jenny and Jake probably.
Yeah.
If you still want to do
Yeah.
that.
Are y'all going to go across to Malta?
No, we're just gonna kick you on the ferry, aren't we?
Just going to kick her off on the ferry. I'm very sad that Anne's leaving us this quickly.
Yeah.
But we knew it was going to be a short trip.
Yeah.
We knew this. What?
No, we're very happy and enjoying.
Yeah.
It's been quite intense.
Oh, it has. And I feel like, I mean, the essences are here now, and that was really my picture. That's complete. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a real.
Okay, Danny, we got Brianna wants to come out. Come on out, Brianna.
Brianna, who should have been Brianna was supposed to have been here with us, and she's completely blocked at the moment by the assholes in charge.
Well, shit happens, but that I didn't want to come on talking to Brian about my situation, but to tell you guys that I'm so fucking happy to see you all there. It's amazing. And secondly, God, I cannot wait to get the story on tomorrow because all that's been happening, everything you've told so far, I mean, in such a short time, the amount of stuff that you guys have, dug out, felt, doused, unearthed is amazing. So my God, I'm waiting for tomorrow because I'm onto those temples and there's a lot of stuff that I also, feel. And I've been on it for like almost a year. So to me, it's like a big deal tomorrow. So even if some of you have time, I know you have a lot of other things to do than to, hop on Zoom, but at least maybe record something a little bit.
Can I make a suggestion? You guys have got good internet over at the farmhouse?
Not in every room.
No, but like if you main room, you have exit room.
I can't get access with my tablet.
Yeah, the tablets are just jokes. In general, I'm sorry, like I mean, well, what I'm thinking is this. We go to Gigantia, and we'll all go back to the farmhouse, and have everyone bring swimsuits and stuff, so we can all go for a swim for those who wish to.
We're not filming that bit.
We're not allowed to film the swimsuit edition of the UnFuckers Gathering, apparently.
I'll make pictures.
Sketching apparently is okay. So when we do that, we'll come back to the house. Maybe we stop at the grocery store. We'll pick up some food so we can all cook together and make a big dinner for everyone. And we'll have another Zoom chat. Are you guys?
Okay.
Oh, John,
Danny, wait. I want to say hi to, before you guys split, it's me, Marlena.
Hi, Marlena.
I will be there in October. I love you all. I love you all so much. And you're doing such great things. And I'm going to cry now, so I love you guys.
It's my birthday in October.
JC?
One last thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Indirect. Thank you, Mad Tom, because he's been putting the pictures together and he's making an album, which is much easier for those of us following. And for you, it would be, you just don't have the time. So you guys, keep dumping the pictures, each of you when you can. Mad Tom doing an amazing job at making this big album. So when we can go, we can just, grab all the pictures in one centralized. Thank you, Tom. I love you. You're great. And you guys,
Thank you, Tom. Tom even managed to get Anne's really crappy pictures to look good.
Yeah. A genius. He's an absolute genius.
There you go.
Sorry, Tom, I helped you stuff when I was trying to send it to you.
So maybe, okay, is everyone finished for a second? Just one second. JC, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, so do you think tomorrow night, if we kind of set a time, like, I've got to be home relatively early, so I'm going to deal with kids. Unless I can, maybe it works out. We'll get details later on. Maybe we can do a Zoom call tomorrow night from the house to talk about Gigantia, talk about everything that kind of comes up. What do you say? Maybe we even do, if we don't.
Going to the out on the journey.
Francis is supposed to be here around noon. Now, this is Malta time, so that could be 2 time. 3, time is irrelevant these days. So we're going to go, yeah, we'll go to Gigantia. We'll go to that, like, kind of early afternoon. And then we can go back to the farmhouse, and we could even do a Zoom call. I can't live stream it unless John Carl's awake. But we can even do the Zoom call and invite everyone who's around in, and I can record it, and then we can just upload it afterwards anyway. Only just one video of us in the sun.
We can all watch
With our hair
our
blowing in the wind.
It's almost that.
No, that's pretty much. It's like a brunch day.
Okay, well,
Brunch? What is this thing?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
speak of?
I've
I
got
don't
one in
know.
the bathroom. I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't used it though.
That's a wonderful reason about all we haven't been having chemtrails because of the wind.
Because they were flying.
Yeah.
I saw them.
Oh, they were absolutely
just
flying. I
blowing
saw one this morning. I was up on the roofs this morning, and the planes were going over, and they were definitely
And
spraying.
don't you just love them when there were 2 of them in a row?
Yeah.
They're going next to each other.
Oh, for sure. So,
I
darling,
saw
is there anyone else want to talk to us?
Ihor had his hand up. Come on out, Ihor.
Igor, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, guys. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Just a piece of news in case you missed being busy. There seems to be a lot of material coming up about Sun and Sun, talking about Sun and Sky being liquid crystal matrix. And it's been coming from Octalis today. In the last 2 days as well. So essentially there is video evidence, untempered, it appears, which basically shows the liquid crystal matrix of the Sun and the Sky. And I thought it would be quite a significant piece of news for you to hear. So
That's interesting. Links, please.
yes, I will send it again.
Send it. You sent me a pile of stuff, and I refused to look at it.
I didn't hear that, Bonnie.
Anne got here, and she was like, "Did you see all the stuff Igor said?" And I was like, "Yep." And I'm not looking Because I know it's all research stuff, and I'm like, I can't look at it. I even read it. I will go researching, and I have 3 hours to finish this website before everyone arrives. I'm like, no, I will not look. So I haven't looked at it. Tomorrow morning I will look at it.
But I would like to say that Igor is very connected to the Red Dragon, aren't you, Igor?
Sorry, Anne, could you say it again?
You are connected to the Red Dragon.
Am I?
Yeah.
Right. It appears. It appears to me, yeah. It appears I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen him even, the picture, I mean, at least. So.
Yeah.
Recently. But I will send the link, and so good to see you guys, and I wish you a wonderful time there.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Igor was also supposed to be one of the ones who was supposed to be here with us. And also got blocked from coming to be with us.
Well, all the best again, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
Okay, Joseph. Joseph wanted to come in and say hello. Come on in, Joseph.
Hey, Joseph. Are you there?
He left.
Maybe. No.
Hello, I'm here.
There he is.
In Western Massachusetts. Hi, everybody. Boy, I wish I could be there, but I've got Jenny. I'm going to put on my camera. I have Jenny from Infinite Trees Project here at Sirius Community with me.
We've got Kik and Bayla from Grateful for Grace doing the tours across the United States, doing the infrastructure building.
And they've just been at Earthlands, and now they're here.
Hi, guys.
You're having your own gathering, is what you're saying.
Excellent.
Yeah, well, this is a mini gathering. You've got a macro one there, Malta and Gozo. I bet you're having a blast. Keep live streaming when you can.
Well, we're looking at all the logistics of it, and it's like, okay, does anyone have a phone that has independent Wi-Fi that we could live stream from Jigatia? I was like, no, it's not going to work. But we have lots of video capability phones, and we are going to manifest that my charge cord for my camcorder is going to appear tonight, so that I have enough time to charge the camcorder before tomorrow, and we will take lots and lots of footage, and then we'll edit it all together and get that uploaded for sure. And when we go up to
lots of video, sounds good.
Danny asked Kale no.
Yeah, Kale always knows where these things are. Oh yeah, no doubt. We'll ask him.
Look in the corner, all right.
Look in the kitchen cupboard. Just to fuck with my head. Yeah, I know. So how are you guys doing over there, Joseph?
Oh, doing fine. We're just we're working on an off-grid energy project here at Sirius, trying to get our 2 wind plants going and having a backup generator on biodiesel, which would then have a Tesla Powerwall, so we can interface with the grid and maybe even sell electricity to the town of Shutesbury and people beyond. We're not there yet, but we're in the logistics planning stage, getting off the grid and being a little more self-sufficient. Sustainable is what we call it.
Everyone gives it a high five.
Since the last
Jenny wants to say something, Danny.
Since the last time I saw you, we're now merging with the transition. We're now merging, hopefully, with NewMap. We're hopefully merging with Synergy Hub. We're hopefully merging with United Earth. And over here, securing the locations. Earthlands just went into transition, so it's now sold. It has its new owners, and we're coming back in. And so creating a leadership training centers so that we can begin the next phase of what we're doing over here. So now we're inviting Ubuntu movement to come in, and any of the other ones that want to network in with everyone. And meanwhile, G4G over here is got caravans going across the United States, working with the infrastructure. And of course, it's the 50th anniversary Summer of Love. Is that what you guys named it? Did you guys name that for Summer of Love? Do you guys want to tell them a minute? Want to tell them what you guys are doing?
Who wants to be the spokesperson?
Want to be a spokesperson?
Step up.
I guess I'll just tell you guys.
You do it. Yeah. Jenny's are.
So they're traveling around, going to communities and building things out for them, different projects, and we hope. Come on.
Get over here.
Come on.
Mine's Fayla.
Yeah.
I'm Fayla. So we help others that are helping others regeneratively and sustainably. So we do regenerative living tours, and we like to focus on the word regenerative as opposed to sustainable, because regenerative means you're regenerating things, you're bringing it in and you always are making more than you're taking. So we go to different eco-villages, intentional communities, and families, yoga, meditation retreat centers, education centers, places all over the country such as this, where they're actively embodying the solutions and presenting those solutions hands-on. And we take volunteers with us who are interested in this kind of lifestyle and show them the realness of it, that it is a possibility, that people are living like this, and spread it and grow it. And then all of our volunteers go home and take this back to their own families, communities, and then that grows. And it's just this butterfly effect of education.
Brilliant.
So it's really about education.
Absolutely fucking brilliant. I like it. You have a website.
You guys. Yes, it's grateful. Yes. Do you have a pen or something?
Type it in here in the chat.
Oh, I can type it into the chat.
Type it in the URL for Grateful for Grace.
Okay.
Put it in the UnFuckers.
Great.
Yay!
For Grace.
Put it in the UnFuckers group.
Org. We're UnFuckers.
Yeah, we're all
We're all
UnFuckers.
UnFuckers. Thank you.
I just wanted to remind you that there are aspects of the.
Yes.
You got it? Okay. Of the original in-community tour, which I was talking with Lisa and you about well over a year ago. And Jenny was actually on that call, that show. And the thing is, things are evolving. The tour is like manifesting a life of its own, whether I have a gypsy wagon or not.
Hey, Joseph, hey, you want to see something really cool? Hey, Joseph. Hey,
what?
Hey, Danny, wait for this. Ready? I haven't seen you in a while.
Right.
We found your truck. We found your gypsy truck.
You found a truck? House truck?
Yes.
Well, I gotta let Lisa know this. This is incredible. We gotta talk.
I'm gonna bring you the guy.
Yeah, I can't believe this. Whoa.
It happened today. Yeah.
I got a house truck.
We'll work out the details.
Manifesting is the thing to do. It is working. It's working. Let me tell you.
I've been thinking about that.
Good. It's
Thank
nice
you.
to see you guys.
Good to see you, Danny.
Thank you guys for letting us know what's going on. Mad Tom.
Okay, great.
And drop it into the UnFuckers room, please. Because I'm sure we're going to want to definitely have a little synopsis in there.
Okie dokie.
Thanks, darling.
Okay, Dawn wanted to come out and say hi. Come on in, Dawn.
Where's Dawn?
Okay, here I am.
Hey, baby.
Yeah. Can y'all see me?
No.
All right. Well, I just want to say hi. I just wanted to say hi and tell you I love you.
We love you. And you're coming in October, right?
Yeah, I'm so jealous right now. It's killing me.
I did try to drag your ass over here. You know that, right? You do remember me dragging
I've been in, I think Peter will appreciate this. Well, you will too, but I'm in mad scientist mode with my cannabis pills, and I've come up with a new recipe. So I've been dealing with that today. So I'm pretty excited about it.
there's an important reason why you're not here, and that's because you're needed over there right now. So October will be different, though. October will be different. And in case you're wondering about the October, there is going to be another UnFuckers gathering in Malta, in Gozo. Sorry. There's going to be another UnFuckers gathering in October. I have yet to set the date, but it's going to be mid-October time. I keep looking, 15th is what keeps coming into my head, so I'm thinking like right seriously the mid-October. So yeah, start preparing now for the next magic UnFuckers gathering. Claire's falling asleep in the corner over here. Another one. I don't know if I can do this again. Yes, so that's the big job. Time, we keep joking about the irrelevance of time. And I'm sorry to say, I mean, I'm in this little island by myself type thing. And I keep talking about the fact that a lot of time seriously does not exist anymore. And then all these guys landed. And they've all discovered that like time seriously doesn't fucking exist here, does it? It's weird. It just doesn't fucking exist. There's no such thing.
But everybody here is fabulous.
We're fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
I can't believe we've only had 2 sleeps.
You've only been here for 2 sleeps, and it feels like
I've only been here for what?
days.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So, John, you're coming, right?
Yes, I'm coming. I'm making Maurice come with me too.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice. You dragged Maurice's ass over here. Tell him it's time to get moving both that change out of the States.
Yeah, for a 75-year-old man, that boy can get around. I mean, y'all saw that video where, I mean, it was so funny, y'all. We're in line to go through that that deal where you go underground into these caves and stuff, and he was bitching and moaning, and, you know, they screwed us because it was like an hour wait. The minute he got mad, the soles of his shoes fell off. Let me tell you, he was forced to do the whole tour in basically moccasins.
Maury, I didn't hear this story, Maury.
I don't know if he's on right now. I don't know if he's on right now, but y'all, everybody saw it. They just fell off.
I'm so melted.
Yeah, Maury is definitely coming, so yeah. He's my travel partner.
Well, there you go. I'm looking forward to it. We will collaborate on this, and we will make plans. Definitely. Okay, love. It was nice talking to you. And you and I still need to talk about the other talk that we were having, because I still need to talk to you about that.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
But it's going to be like after all this is over and done with.
Yeah. Sounds good. Y'all have a great time. I'm really enjoying watching you.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks, sweetie.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Is there anyone else with their hand up? I can't see the screen from here. I'm trying to look at the screen. I can't see any more hands up.
No, it looks like we're pretty much done today.
Awesome. Okay, guys, because we've got a whole pile of tired people here who are fading fast. They're fading fast. We still got to rally up taxis for everyone. We will get some video, even if we can't live stream it tomorrow, we will definitely get on Zoom. I will drop the link into the UnFuckers room. We will make sure it's all recorded and talk about what happens tomorrow at Gigantia in the afternoon. And I think maybe we'll take a day off on Tuesday. Maybe Wednesday we'll go up to the Citadel. Maybe Tuesday if it's a good day, it's beach day. Oh, maybe like go to the beach, go to Rumla, and go hang out on Rumla. Could happen. Okay, well that's it. That's it for Transpicuous Views and the UnFucker Gathering for this day. And Transpicuous Views will be back again next Sunday. And Wednesday night, Unfuck It discussion. I might drag all these guys over again for another Unfuck It discussion. And we'll see what we have to discuss then. But that's it for us. We're all going to bed now. Bye, everyone.